We've all been there. That moment when someone you trusted, someone you gave your heart, your time, your energy, turns around and hurts you. Maybe they lied. Maybe they betrayed you. Maybe they walked away like you never mattered. And in that moment, your mind races. Your heart pounds. Every instinct screams at you to react, to fight, to prove your worth, to demand answers. But let me tell you something powerful. The way you respond in that moment will define you. Will you let their actions control you, or will you take that pain and flip the script? Because here's the truth. If you want to confuse them, if you want to shake them to their core, you don't react the way they expect. You don't give them the satisfaction of seeing you broken. Instead, you take back your power. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Pain, it's the one thing every single person in this room, every single person listening to my voice has experienced. And when it hits, it doesn't just knock, it kicks the door in, uninvited. It's raw, it's heavy, and it shakes the very foundation of who you are. You feel it in your chest, in your stomach, in your bones. It lingers in your mind when you're alone, creeping into your thoughts when you least expect it. But here's what most people don't realize. Pain is not the enemy. Pain is fuel. Pain is fire. And if you know how to use it, it becomes the single most powerful force in your life. See, when most people feel pain, they let it break them, they let it define them. They curl up, they shut down, they dwell on the hurt, replaying it over and over again like a broken record. They get stuck in the story of what happened, in the injustice of it all, in the betrayal, the heartbreak, the disappointment. They ask, why me? How could they do this? What did I do to deserve this? And with every question, they sink deeper into their suffering. But the people who rise, the people who break through, the ones who turn their pain into power, they don't ask, why me? They ask, what now? They don't dwell on the hurt, they transform it. They take that energy, that gut-wrenching, soul-shaking energy, and they redirect it. Think about it. Every great success story, every person who has ever achieved something remarkable has been fueled by pain. The athlete who was told they'd never make it. The entrepreneur who lost everything and had to start over. The person who was rejected, humiliated, abandoned, and decided that instead of letting it destroy them, they would use it to rebuild themselves into something unshakable. Pain creates hunger. Hunger for growth, for change, for strength. And the best part, the deeper the pain, the greater the transformation. Because pain forces you to make a choice. Stay where you are and suffer, or rise up and become someone they never saw coming. And the secret, the people who hurt you, the ones who thought they could break you, they are betting on you to stay down. They expect you to crumble. That's the game. But when you take that pain and turn it into drive, when you use it to level up, when you channel it into becoming the strongest, smartest, most unshakable version of yourself, you flip the script. You confuse them. You shake them to their core. Because nothing is more unsettling than someone who was supposed to fall but chose to rise instead. Every interaction you have with another person is a battle for control. And when someone hurts you, they aren't just causing you pain, they're testing to see if they can control your reaction. That's the real game. That's the real power move. They want to dictate the narrative. They want to set the emotional tone. They want to push a button and watch you explode, crumble, or beg for an explanation. But the second you react exactly how they expect, you lose. The second you break down, scream, cry, demand answers, or try to fix things, You hand them the power. They win because now they control the frame. So what is the frame? It's the invisible structure that determines who is leading the interaction. It's the unspoken force that decides who's in control. Most people don't even realize it exists, but the ones who do, the ones who master it, they dictate reality. They are the ones who walk into a room and shift the energy. They are the ones who can take a situation that should have broken them and turn it into an opportunity to become stronger. When someone hurts you, they expect an emotional reaction. That's their frame. They want you in a state of confusion, desperation, or weakness. They want you seeking validation, asking why, trying to fix something that was never yours to fix. But when you control the frame, you do the opposite. You refuse to play their game. You stand still when they expect you to chase. You smile when they expect you to crumble. You stay calm when they expect a storm. And in that moment, they lose control. It throws them off balance. It makes them second guess everything. They start wondering, why isn't this working? Why aren't they reacting? Did I ever really have control? And that's when the power shifts, because now they are the ones in uncertainty. Now they are the ones searching for answers. Controlling the frame doesn't mean suppressing your emotions. It means owning them. It means deciding with absolute certainty that no one else gets to dictate how you feel. It means understanding that the person who remains the most composed always has the upper hand. It means recognizing that silence, presence, and unshakable confidence will shake them far more than any outburst ever could. Think about the most powerful people in any situation. The leaders, the ones others look to for guidance. Are they frantic? Are they begging for approval? Are they scrambling for control? No, they are still. They are calculated. They understand that whoever controls their emotions controls the room. And when you master this, when you stop reacting and start responding with intention, the entire dynamic changes, because the moment they realize they can't control your emotions, they lose their grip. The power they thought they had over you vanishes. The manipulation no longer works. And suddenly, they're left questioning everything. Silence. It's the most misunderstood tool of power. Most people think power is in words, in confrontation, in proving a point. They think if they don't speak, they're weak. That if they don't react, they're losing. But that's where they're wrong. Because in reality, silence is the sharpest weapon you will ever wield. When someone hurts you, they expect a reaction. They expect anger. They expect tears. They expect you to demand explanations, to beg for closure, to fight for their attention. That's the script they've seen 100 times before, and they know exactly how to play their role. They know what to say, to manipulate, how to twist the narrative, how to gaslight and shift blame. It's a dance they've perfected, and the moment you step onto the floor with them, they have you right where they want you. But silence disrupts everything. Silence is unpredictable. Silence removes you from their game entirely. When you say nothing, they have nothing to grab onto, no fuel to keep their fire burning, no words to twist, no emotions to manipulate. They are left alone with their actions, with the weight of what they've done, with nothing but their own thoughts. And that is far more powerful than any argument you could ever have. Because here's the truth. People who hurt others thrive on engagement. They want to see you react because your reaction confirms their importance in your life. It validates them. It feeds their ego. Even if it's negative attention, it's still attention. And that alone makes them feel in control. But when you go silent, when you give them nothing, that's when they start to panic. That's when they start questioning. That's when they start, they wonder if they ever really had an impact on you. They wonder if they ever really mattered. And that uncertainty, that silence, it will haunt them far longer than any words ever could. Silence forces them to confront their own emptiness. It forces them to sit with their own guilt, their own insecurity, their own regrets. When you argue, when you fight back, when you scream and cry, you give them an escape. You give them something to fight against, a reason to justify their actions. But when you remove yourself completely, when you leave them with nothing but dead air, that's when they start to feel the weight of what they've done. And it's not just about them, it's about you. Because silence isn't just a weapon against others, it's a weapon for yourself. It's a statement. It's proof that you do not need validation, explanation, or permission to move forward. It's the ultimate display of strength because it shows that you are in complete control of yourself. Most people can't handle silence. They feel the need to fill it, to explain, to justify. But the ones who can master it, the ones who can sit in it, own it, and use it strategically, they are the ones who hold the real power. Because silence is not emptiness, it is presence. It is command. It is a force that unsettles, that disarms, that leaves people questioning everything they thought they knew. When someone hurts you, the biggest mistake you can make is staying in the same place. Mentally, emotionally, physically, the pain, the betrayal, the disappointment, it all wants to keep you stuck. It wants you to replay the past, to analyze every word, every action, every moment. It wants you to sit in that space of confusion, of anger, of regret. It convinces you that if you just linger a little longer, if you just get the right closure, if you just understand why, then you'll finally be able to move on. But that's the trap. That's where people waste weeks, months, even years of their life waiting for something that will never come. Because here's the truth. Closure isn't given, it's created. Growth isn't something that happens when the pain fades. It happens when you decide to move forward despite it. And the only way to do that is to level up. See, when you linger in the pain, you keep yourself in the same energy, the same mindset, the same patterns that got you hurt in the first place. You stay stuck in a version of yourself that was vulnerable to that kind of pain, that was available for that kind of treatment. But when you commit to leveling up, when you shift your focus from what happened to what's next, you start to break free. And leveling up isn't about pretending it didn't hurt. It's not about faking happiness or forcing yourself to move on overnight. It's about using the pain as fuel. It's about turning every ounce of disappointment, every ounce of frustration into motivation. It's about deciding that the best way to respond isn't with words, isn't with revenge, isn't with dwelling on the past. It's with becoming someone they can't even recognize. Because the reality is, the best version of you doesn't sit around replaying old conversations. The best version of you doesn't waste time stalking their social media, wondering who they're with or what they're doing. The best version of you doesn't beg, doesn't wait, doesn't hope for an apology. The best version of you is too busy becoming unstoppable. And that's the real power move. That's what confuses them, what unsettles them, what makes them realize they never really had control. They expect you to stay stuck. They expect you to need them, to be affected by them, to define yourself by what they did to you. But when you start leveling up, when you start hitting the gym, focusing on your mindset, chasing your goals, transforming your life, they don't just lose access to you, they lose the ability to understand you. You become someone they no longer recognize, someone they can't reach, can't manipulate, can't bring back into their drama. Because leveling up isn't just about success, it's about evolution. It's about outgrowing the people and situations that were never meant to last. It's about making sure that when they finally look back, when they finally realize what they lost, they don't find the same person waiting. They find someone they never stood a chance of keeping. One of the biggest traps people fall into when they've been hurt is the urge to chasing answers, chasing closure, chasing the person who walked away. It's human nature. When something slips through your fingers, your instincts tell you to reach for it. When someone pulls away, your first reaction is to run after them. You tell yourself that if you just explain, if you just fix things, if you just try harder, you can get back what you lost. But that's the lie, that's the game, because the second you start chasing, you're operating from weakness. And the person you're chasing, they feel it, they sense it, and it only pushes them further away. People don't respect what chases them. They don't value what they don't have to work for. And the moment you start running after someone, the dynamic shifts. You place them on a pedestal, and in their mind, they rise while you shrink. They start seeing you as an option, as something they can take or leave. They stop appreciating you because they know no matter what they do, you'll still be there, waiting, hoping, chasing. But when you lead, when you set the direction and move forward with or without them, everything changes. Because leadership is power. Leadership means you control your own life, your own choices, your own path. It means you aren't waiting for someone else to dictate how you feel, what you do, or where you go next. And that's magnetic. That's what commands respect. Think about the most powerful people you know. Are they chasing? Are they begging for attention, for love, for validation? No, they are leading. They are building. They are focused on their vision, their goals, their evolution. And the people around them, they either keep up or they get left behind. That's the difference between those who control their lives and those who let others control them. And this isn't just about relationships. It's about everything. It's about how you move in business, in friendships, in personal growth. The second you stop chasing and start leading, you shift the entire energy of every interaction. You stop asking, do they like me? Do they want me? Am I good enough for them? And you start asking, are they good enough for me? Do they align with my vision? Are they adding value to my life? And that's the mindset that changes everything, because when you lead, you naturally attract the right people. The ones who see your worth, the ones who recognize your strength, the ones who understand that being in your life is a privilege, not a guarantee. And the ones who don't, they fall away. Not because you pushed them, not because you begged them to stay, but because they were never meant to be there in the first place. Leadership is about knowing your value. It's about standing so firmly in your worth that you never have to convince anyone to see it. It's about moving with certainty, knowing that what's meant for you will follow and what's not will fade away. And when you master that, when you embody that energy, the people who once walked away, the people who thought they could take you for granted, the people who expected you to chase, they won't know what hit them. Because suddenly they'll realize they aren't being pursued anymore. They aren't being begged for their time or their attention. And that's when the power shifts. That's when they start to question everything. Pain is inevitable. Betrayal, disappointment, heartbreak, they're all part of life, but what defines you isn't what happens to you, it's how you respond. When someone hurts you, you have two choices. You can react the way they expect, broken, desperate, seeking their validation, or you can take control, you can flip the script. You confuse them by doing what they never saw coming. You don't chase, you don't beg, you don't shrink yourself trying to fit into a version of you that they can manipulate. Instead, you take that pain and turn it into power. You control the frame. You use silence as a weapon. You refuse to linger where you're not valued. And most importantly, you level up so completely that the version of you they hurt no longer even exists. Because the greatest revenge, the greatest response is not proving anything to them, it's proving everything to yourself. It's becoming someone so strong, so unshakable that their absence isn't a loss, it's a gift. It's recognizing that their actions weren't a reflection of your worth, but a revelation of theirs. So the next time someone thinks they can break you, let them believe it, then show them just how wrong they were.